15 years ago who Craig Siegel could be, but it took all that pain, all that struggle, all that growth to figure out who Craig Siegel was. And the second you started to realize who he was, magic happened.
And see, that's the thing. People think it's an overnight success. I have been shaping this Craig Siegel for 15 years. Once I was able to put it together, I was petrified to go back and go back to a life that did nothing for me. I wasn't putting a dent in the universe. I wasn't making an impact. I wasn't having any fun. I was miserable. Yeah, buddy! You'll never
There he is.
Woo!
What's going on, my friend, my brother? How are you doing?
Joey, I'm doing great, brother. It's so good to see you as always, and I'm honored to be here with you, brother.
I'm honored to have you on the show. I want to kick this off. It's the first ever edition, so you're my first guest on my new show. So let me take it from the top now that we have you here, and then we're going to get right into it, okay?
I'm all yours, brother.
Fantastic. Hello and welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining in today live on the very first episode of Reality Practice Live and the new show I'm calling Quantum Creations, where I'll be interviewing guests who have experienced massive quantum explosions in their personal, professional evolutions, and they've literally rewritten their own version of reality. And today's guest is no other than Craig Siegel. For those of you who don't know Craig, he has literally quantum leaped his entire reality in just a couple short years, and he's exploded now onto the scene as one of the hottest up-and-coming speakers on the in the motivational industry. You know, like he just got off the stage a couple weeks, last week I think, with John Maxwell, with my brother, my friend Jesse Itzler, other awesome speakers you were involved with down there in Atlanta, and he's also the host of the CLS Experience, which just got picked up on Apple TV. Is that correct?
That's correct, buddy. And it was once an experiment. Now it's an experience.
Now it is the experience. So, man, without further delay, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me, brother. And I see a lot of our family in here, Roseanne, Jess, Becca. What an honor to be the first guest on your new hit show that I know is going to explode, because every single time that you personally show up, you drop value and you value people, and you're always dropping nuggets and gems. So I know this is going to be special. I know this is just the beginning of what's going to be a quantum leap for you and your brand and so forth. And I'm just honored to be here. And thank you so much for the unbelievable introduction.
Oh, you got it, brother. You got it. You know, I really wanted to have you on the show today because I think it exemplifies exactly what I want to do in this show. You know, quick little 10, 15-minute pop, you know, interviews, because, you know, people have quantum leaps all the time in their lives. And we need to start appreciating, experiencing, you know, celebrating those. And you, my friend, are literally like the expert of reinventing yourself. You know, I want you to share with us, you know, where you were 2 years ago to where you are now, and the lessons you learned. What got you? What made this quantum leap possible for you? And take it from there, man.
Yeah, great question. So what's up, Gab, Rachel's in the house, everybody's out today, Pam. Essentially 2 years ago today, I was on Wall Street. I had been there for the last 11 years. I achieved success from a monetary standpoint, but ultimately I was drowning, brother. I was stuck. I was dying. This is going to sound pretty deep, and I hope I don't offend anyone, but at the risk of being authentic, I actually felt like I was disrespecting God, because I knew I had gifts and I knew I was here for a reason, and I was just existing. I wasn't even living. And I had a big moment in the beginning of the pandemic where I basically said, like, if this was it for me, like, what would someone say in my eulogy? And I didn't really think that I left a big impact or a legacy or anything. Yes, I had some friends and family and stuff like that, but ultimately I knew I was meant for more. I always felt guided. I had that intuition. I just never put it together. And then in the beginning of the pandemic, I realized exactly what it is that I wanted to do, which was marry the concept of personal development and helping people with my ability to communicate effectively. And I married those two, and I started CLS. And people always ask me all the time, like, weren't you scared to leave Wall Street, to leave a stable job? And it's funny because once I finally put it together and packaged what it is that I want to do, and see, that's the thing. People think it's an overnight success. I have been shaping this Craig Siegel for 15 years. Once I was able to put it together, I was petrified to go back and go back to a life that did nothing for me. I wasn't putting a dent in the universe. I wasn't making an impact. I wasn't having any fun. I was miserable. And there were some pretty dark moments. And I'm getting fired up right now because I'm picturing, like, I was in pain, brother. For anyone else that's going to see this replay or see Joey's show, like, I know what it's like to live in pain, emotional, spiritual pain. Like, you know you're meant for more and you're underachieving. And so once I put together CLS, it just resonated so much with my soul that I went all in. I burned the ships. There was no sign of retreat. And the biggest thing to me was, we're going to make this work because I ain't going back. I'm done with that. We're going to make this work and we're going to figure out how. What's up, Christine?
I love it. You know, you focused, you said just existing. You were just living. And how many of us out there are just living, you know, a lot of it's out of fear. Like you said, you don't want to leave that secure job, but you know there's a passion. You know there's something more out there. And it was scary. You were petrified. Tell us about that, because I think that's the biggest block that we all have, you know, in wanting to find our purpose, wanting to live that purpose, but in actually taking the steps to get there. You know, we all are scared. Tell us about that journey, that thought process.
I want to acknowledge you. Great questions, buddy, on your first episode. I'd love to be challenged. I see Big David here, Christine. I always like to say hello to the audience. Love you guys very much. Essentially, once I understood that I'm here for a reason, there is a big mission out there. I'm guided. There's something bigger out there than just Craig, right? And once I was able to put that together, I realized that everything that I had been through, all the times on Wall Street, all the toxic relations, whatever the case may be, the stuff that I went through was for a reason, to shape me so that I can make this impact. And once I had that, I understood that this was the moment. CLS could not have worked 3 years ago. I had to go through everything for this to work, for there to be purpose and drive behind this, to help people, to show them that you can literally do anything that you want. And more specifically, when you feel guided, you can make a gigantic impact. You don't have to have connections. You don't even have to have money to start. You just have to have an idea and a maniacal drive that you absolutely know that you're here for a reason. All of us are here for a reason. Sometimes we just have challenges identifying what that is. And so once I was able to put some stuff together, brother, and realize that I love personal development, I get validated by helping people, by someone saying, I listened to your CLS membership today, or I joined your mastermind, or I listened to you and Joey, and you helped me change my perception. You changed my perspective. You made me want to go out and do something more. That's what it's all about for me. And once I realized that that's not only my passion, it's my purpose, the thought of going back to do anything was just not in the cards. Simply put, like, you would have to kill me to get me to stop building CLS and go back to a job, because this is my mission and this is what I'm here to do, and that's just that.
I freaking love it, man. You know, you talk about the pain, but that pain is what leads to growth, right? And you know, my shows that I talk about, I focus a lot on how we create our reality. How you have to have that vision first. You have to have that image. And you knew 15 years ago who Craig Siegel could be, but it took all that pain, all that struggle, all that growth to figure out who Craig Siegel was. And the second you started to realize who he was, magic happened, right?
That's right. And that's what you talk about, quantum leaps, brother. And we just dropped a new mastermind, which is the first one in 6 months. It's going to be the only one of its kind that I'll ever do. And the name of it was Quantum Leap, and we dropped it today. And what Quantum Leap means to me is and again, I'm not certified. I'm not, like a practitioner. This is what it means to me, Joey. It means to be able to take a monstrous leap, both mentally and then in your world physically, in a very short amount of time. And I'm able to do that with CLS because I was able to figure out why I'm doing this and what we're going to do. And once I got that clarity, And I realized, like, this is my soul speaking to you right now. Like, this isn't work to me. Let me be very clear. Like, I'm grateful. I love this conversation. I have another call after with Becca, who's on here too, as a part of our family. Like, I love this stuff. This isn't work to me.
Right.
So for anybody listening, like, how can you apply this? Once you realize, like, what it is that you love, like, what sets your soul on fire, and you're able to combine that with what you're actually good at, then the universe has no choice but to kind of make the seas begin to part for you. And that's when you're able to realize real-time manifestations and so forth. And I'm literally seeing things happen now. It's like, it's magical. Like, in real time, manifestations are beginning to happen.
Absolutely.
The way to have a quantum leap is to be in that frequency where you're living inside your vision, and you don't have to second guess yourself, because you know, even though you may not have the results today, you know you're going down the right direction. And ultimately, I think that's what it's all about for everybody, is to be able to put yourself in a position where even if it doesn't work, which it will, you can live with that. But not live with going back to Wall Street and not trying CLS. And
burning those boats, like you said. You know, before we end here, you know, what's that secret sauce? What's the one thing people have to have in order to start this process, this quantum leap of reinventing themselves or creating anything, really? What is the most important single thing you think that needs to be there?
Self-belief. You have to believe in yourself so drastically that no one can throw you off track. No obstacle, no challenge, no problem, nothing can deter you from where you're going, your trajectory. And for me, like I like to always say, and I put down this quote on New Year's Eve going to 2022, the most important sale that you will ever make in life is to sell yourself that you are worthy. And once you believe in your soul, in your heart, that you can do this, that you're meant to do something big, impactful, to contribute to this world, right? Once you believe that, there is nothing that can stop the freight train. No obstacle, no challenge, no problem, no issue. It just becomes a moment in time. It's just a setback. It's not going to stop you, right? That particular challenge or obstacle, it's on the way, not in the way. And when you have that self-belief, there's literally nothing or no one that could stop you. And one of the reasons why I love you so much, why you and I connected from the very first time that you and I spoke, Joey, is because you have that self-belief, brother. And I want to acknowledge you for that. It's contagious.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that more than you know, Craig. You know, it's that belief, that faith can move mountains. You know, and I talk a lot about, you know, living in the end, believing more that you've already gotten there with your five senses, using that sixth sense of intuition. So yeah, belief, faith, it will move mountains. You know, before we get to my very last question, I ask every guest.
Before you go into that, I want to let the audience know, if you don't have all the self-belief right now, it's okay. It's a skill that can be developed.
It builds, absolutely. Do I have everything I need? Absolutely not. Is it within me? Of course it is. But, you know, we got to break down those barriers in our mind that hold us back. So,
Yeah.
Before I got one last question I ask all my guests on all the other shows. But first and foremost, how can people find you? Where can they work with you? Where's your website? Watch your show? You know, give us the details here.
I hang out the most, I would say, on Instagram at Craig Siegel _CLS. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, the record-setting podcast, the CLS Experience. The website, cultivatelastingsymphony.com. We just launched today for the very first and only time a 5-month mastermind called Quantum Leap. All things identifying what you're an expert in, your power, stepping into it, and then exploding that. And all the strategies. The guest speakers that we have, I'm pulling out all the bells and whistles. They're going to be the people from the podcast. We're going to do 2 live events in person, and we're going to have so much fun. That's the best way to work with me right now. Obviously, it's invite only, but we can have conversations and so forth. And then obviously just the CLS membership that we do weekly that Joey's a part of. I just love to put out a ton of free content as well. I just want to see genuinely every single person fly. And what gets me so excited is that everybody has the ability to do great things, to make a massive impact. And once you begin to make a massive impact and contribute, don't worry. The money will follow you 100%.
Absolutely. And guys, if you can't see the kind of excitement and the energy that Craig brings to the stage, brings to his shows, brings in to the group when we work with him, I mean, he is phenomenal. You can't go wrong working with somebody that resonates like this. So thank you so much. I want to ask the last question that I ask everybody. Since all my shows focus around creating the reality, we desire in our life through our imagination. If I could snap my fingers right now, right here and now, in this instant, what reality would you create and why?
So, this isn't the sexiest answer, but if I could do anything in the entire world, I would do what I'm doing right now. And every single day, I'm working towards even bettering that reality. And I'm taking quantum leaps. I'm manifesting things, but I'm putting in the work. I'm strategic and I'm intentional. And I surround myself with great people. And a lot of the great people I'm going to bring into this mastermind are going to be experts that can help with this as well. And I know that's not the sexiest answer, but I understand also it's a very rare place to be where I'm at right now in life, which is literally living inside my vision. And I know that, and trust me, I'm not Superman, because I spent 35 years trying to find myself. And a lot of that was filled with a lot of deep emotional and spiritual pain. And I'm going to begin talking about that stuff a lot more, because after today's membership call, I see that a lot of people want to hear about it, and I have no problem with that. I was in pain for a very long time. With all the stuff that I'm doing now, with this quantum leap, with the CLS and all that stuff, I'm genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, living inside my vision. And the best part is we're just getting warmed up.
I love that answer. I was laughing as you were saying it because I made a bet with myself. I didn't want to spoil it, but I literally knew the answer to that question without asking. It was right where you're at right now, exactly here in this moment, because you literally are living your vision, your dream. So yeah, so amazing. I thank you. So
I want the audience listening right now, there's 20 people on here right now, drop a yes in the chat if you agree this is the best performance by someone having their first IG Live ever, meaning Joey.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Craig. I appreciate it. You are the best, man. And I want to say thank you for your time today. I want to say thank you to everybody who took the time to watch this today. If it resonated with you, share it, get it out there. This is a strong, powerful message that Craig's speaking about here, and more people need to wake up to it. So give it a heart, comment on it, share it. Be sure to follow Craig and me on Instagram. And until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay blessed. And remember to always ask yourself, what reality are you choosing to create today?
Yes. And if I could just say one thing, if you don't mind, Joey, I want to acknowledge some people in the chat. Chris, Becca, Alex, Michael, Dave, Jesse, Alex, Emily, everyone's out there today. I just want to say this. I'm so proud of Joey. He's on absolute fire. We have our explosion program, and everybody in that group knows that when you have momentum and the wind is at your back, it's a really special place to be, brother. And there's been a major shift in you, specifically in the last couple weeks. You're what I like to call on fire, and you can't be stopped. You're a great guy. You've been through so much. You're sharing your gifts with the world right now. And I can honestly say, genuinely, the world is a better place as you continue to step into your own power, and you're doing such a good job, and you barely even just begun. And all wanting to acknowledge you here tonight, Joey, as well.
Oh, thank you so much, Craig. You're giving me tingles all in the head here. So I appreciate it. And until next time, I can't wait to talk with you, brother. Thank you so much.
We'll chat later. Bye, Joey. Thank you for having me, buddy.
Bye, guys. Thanks for tuning in.